Yeah, and then you. And, hey,
we're live. Don't worry, we're just chatting about our plan about how we're going to share this thing and all that. So, welcome everybody. Thanks for jumping on. Chuck us up a comment, whoever's on, and I'll get to work.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this live, say what's up in the comments. As you might remember, we're using some new software now, so let us know if the sound or the audio is not working. Let us know what you think about the new software. Totally keen on feedback. And thanks for tuning in. And yeah, your name doesn't show in the comments, so if you do want us to, respond to you by name, then after your comment, just put, Anna or Johnny or whatever that might be. So yeah, we're back at it. We must be up at episode 13 or something like that now, on the live show for business owners, talking about business in a real way, pretty much. And the topic today is stop thinking like a technician and start thinking like a business owner or an entrepreneur. So I'll throw to the audience first because Nick's going to come back soon, and then I'm going to go off and do some sharing. What are your guys' thoughts, on this topic in general, right? What's your experience with thinking like a technician versus a business owner? How does it impact the business? How do you deal with it? How do you manage it? Are you even aware of it? Do you even know what it means? All that kind of stuff. How far away are you, bro?
I'm just on my last one now.
Oh, okay, cool. Look, I guess I'll start with the definition, and I'll say, there's a great book by Michael E. Gerber in the 90s, great business book, one of the best business books of that time. And he talked about the technician versus the engineer, right? And it's like, typically what happens, or can happen often, is, we take a plumber as an example. So they'll get their apprenticeship, they are an employee, and they technically get good at the thing, the profession, the industry. And they'll get a contract or an opportunity will come up anyway, and pretty much they go and buy a van, get some tools or some gear, and then they go out on their own, and they're a business owner, right? Legally, for most intents and purposes, they are a business owner or an entrepreneur even. But actually, they still think like a technician, right? They're really good at the thing, the plumbing or the making of the widgets, or Google AdWords, or if you're a digital marketer or whatever, but they're not necessarily thinking like a business owner. And it's really, really interesting when you think about, 89% of all Kiwi businesses are less than 3 employees, I think it is, right? So a lot of mom and pop businesses, a lot of tiny businesses. Why is it that, and don't get me wrong, some of those will be lifestyle businesses, some of them will like it like that. But out of, 500,000 businesses, 90% of that, you'd argue that some of them don't necessarily want to be that size. They want to be a lot bigger, but what's stopping them? Right? Is it digital marketing? Is it that they don't have an ebook? They don't have a fucking ClickFunnel? They don't have some guru business coach? Obviously. Get an ebook. You got to get an ebook. But arguably, at the end of the day, your thinking will drive your strategy, which will drive your tactics and drive your implementation, right? And so that's what we're kind of talking about here is your thinking like a technician versus a business owner and how that impacts your business. Okay, over to you.
Love it. Yep, sweet. And so the context for why we chose this topic tonight, I've just seen in the last few weeks some of the posts coming through the group, very much people asking a lot of questions that are just they're born out of a space of going at it on your own, trying to do things yourself, trying to create a a lot of it comes out of saving money or a space of maybe not having the budget at the early phase of your business to do things. So rather than figuring out creative strategies for how can you finance something, how can you joint venture with someone, most people revert back to what they've always kind of done is, I'll just figure out a way how to do it myself. I'll learn how to do it and I'll put more time into it, or I'll do, I'll just work a few extra hours, or I'll shortcut things. And it's, look, there is a huge thing around the Kiwi ingenuity, number 8 wire, and there certainly is a place for that in business. Wouldn't take any of that away. But I think it's important that we realize that, you know, just to start thinking as a higher level business owner is really quite important to think, well, you know, if I need a website, do I want to go and learn the whole process, or is that something I need to outsource so that I can focus on delivery for my customers? You know, or if I need to install a POS system to my business, is that something that I want to outsource to someone who's a professional at, or do I want to sort of figure out barcodes and, you know, create my own stickers and all of those kinds of things, and figure out a system and how it's going to work? And is that investment of your time a valuable investment of your time versus maybe putting more time into, you know, driving your sales or focusing on your marketing side of things? So that's kind of where the topic came out of for tonight. That was kind of the thinking with it. So, but look, keen to hear from you guys. Where does this show up for you in your business? Where have you maybe diverted to sort of, I think the other side of it is deliver, is working in your business, not on your business. So where do you kind of know that you need to, you know, really fix something within your business or improve something within your business, but you default to serving a few extra customers and putting it off and putting it off? Because those are those things that do to catch up with you given time, right? You all good?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, mate. Can we get our banner up? Just
Which
in terms
one?
of framing up our topic. Thinking like a technician.
There we go. Like that one. Look at that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, well, that's kind of the theme of the whole night. Like, I really wanted to get into the thinking of it. Hey, here's a question for you. You know, what's the impact? Can you talk a little bit more about, and you have, but can you talk a little bit more about what you perceive to be the impact of thinking like a technician versus a business owner or an entrepreneur?
Yeah, and it's not bad. It's not a bad thing to think like that. Sometimes that, you know, you it's good for you to have a level of competence.
What did you just say?
Oh, come on, bro. We're doing this already, bro. We're only been on 7 minutes, man. The people haven't even had a chance, and you're trying to throw shade. Trying being the key word.
All day, every day, brother. All day, every day. This is a comedy show, right? This is not a trying to help business owners by giving them some real talk.
No, this is just a bit of a jam, bro.
It's a bit of a jam, Hey, what's up, Renee? Thank you. Yeah, look, I think that's a big part of, you know, what we're trying to do here is just keep it real.
Yeah, nice. But, you know, now you've fucked up my train of thought. Let me try and decompress. But no, what I'm saying is, look, you know, there's certainly a value in understanding the technician side of your job, particularly if you're doing anything that's relatively skilled and you don't know what you're talking about. People that are working for you are going to walk all over you, or your clients are going to know more than you. So there's certainly value in that. But I think there comes a time when your business, particularly as you start to, it's either very early on or particularly as you start to scale, where you've got to start, you know, taking the gloves off and getting off the floor, getting off the tools, and really start thinking about how do you drive your key metrics within your business. And like I say, I think that there's two phases: early on and then later on as you start to scale. So, but I think that the whole thing holistically comes from being able to sort of separate, you know, yourself from the business and understanding what you know, what it is, the ultimate goal, what you're trying to achieve with your business. Is that? Yeah, I
love it. Right, we're just trying to offer perspective here, you know, and I think that's all accurate. I don't think there's one total answer, right? And again, keen on your guys' comments. You know, if you guys got anything to say on the topic, you know, feel free to chuck something in the comments, and we'll kind of throw that up as well. I agree with everything you said. One thing that came to mind is when you said working on the business versus in the business, you know, and as a business coach, that's one of the problems that I get. You know, they're like, oh man, you know, can you help me work on the business and not in the business? And you know, after, you know, what, about 9 or 10 years in the industry now, I'm kind of at the point where internally I'm kind of saying, fucking, you're the boss, man, just work on the business.
Yeah right? That's a real hard thing though, man. Like, particularly for someone who's been doing a business for 4, 3, 5 years. How do you,
because of that thing?
Yeah, like, I'm the best one at making cakes. How can I let other people make cakes? They'll fuck it up and it won't be at my standard.
Right. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the impact of thinking like a technician versus thinking like a business owner. Oh, that way. Oh, sorry. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the impacts of the thinking, right? And what does that business look like, right? And we know statistically, and I'm not big on stats, man, but I guess if I talk about anecdotally, maybe some people think I'm full of crap.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, in my experience, yeah, man, a lot of people are trapped in their businesses. A lot of people work a lot of hours. You know, they do the thing, they make the cakes, they do the plumbing, they do the lawyering, the dentisting during the
Clean
day.
the toilets.
Wow, yeah. But they do the thing anyway during the day, and then they do the books at night, and they try and learn about this Google AdWords thing, or I got to make an ebook, or I got to have an Instagram, and I try to make these videos and post these photos and do these memes and stuff like that.
Because marketing is a great one too on that.
Yeah, right. How many marketers actually have crap businesses? How many marketers actually have crap marketing?
I was going to say, crap marketing's the right.
Yeah, and you know, and that's what it comes down to. It comes down to their thinking, right? And because they're thinking like a cake maker, right? To go back to your analogy, and it's like, dude, are you a cake maker or a business owner? Because a business owner, yeah, I agree with you, needs to have a level of technical skills to earn respect, to lead by example. And all that kind of stuff. And there are benefits of that. But then arguably, man, a good entrepreneur doesn't need any technical skills in that business, and they can grow a massive business. And I come back to Tim, and we're talking about thinking, Tim, and like I like where Tim's comment is. I think it depends on whether you want to be the face of the business or not. I think that plays into, is it built around your personal brand, you know, or do we want to get it to scale? And, you know, when you look at Bill Gates, his personal brand actually hit scale after the product brand hit scale, and then the company brand hit scale, and then all of a sudden Bill Gates became a bit of a brand, a well-known, properly brand. You know, so I think you'll find that.
It's the same with old Gary V. You know, like he's always been the face of his business, but he doesn't do any of the, you know, the marketing and stuff. He's got teams for that. So yeah. Particularly marketing is an interesting one, isn't it? Because it's like, well, you know, if I go and figure out how to create my Facebook ads, I don't have to pay an agency for that. And you know, there is value in doing that, but at the same time, man, like learning, how much time do you spend learning that, particularly if you're service based? Like if you're not delivering in a service based industry, you're essentially, unless you're making a better return on what you're doing, you're losing money than your charge out rate.
Right, opportunity cost plays in.
Opportunity cost, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, right. Like, and you got to work out well, look, this is one way to do it, right? There's some gurus and some ebook people out there that'll say you must work out your hourly rate, right? And they've got a little formula, how many hours in a year, how much revenue does the business make in a year, and you divide that out, and that's your hourly rate, right? Or some version of that calculation. And they go, okay, cool. If a task is worth less than that hourly rate, you know, you should be outsourcing it, delegating it, you know, whatever. But, you know, that's not always true. But I do generally kind of agree with it. You know your value and play at your level.
Yes, I was going to say, how do you bring this to a higher level? What's your, you know?
Dude, it comes down to your thinking, right? When you're thinking like a technician, when you're thinking about the quality of the cakes, you're a technician. But when you're thinking about how can I build a system that can show other humans how to make cakes just as good as me, maybe even better, now you're thinking like a business owner. Now you're thinking scale. And it's, do you want to be the best cake maker in the world? And so coming back to Tim's comment, yeah, you're exactly right. It's all personal, right? It's all relative. Do you want to be the best cake maker in the world? Do you really have trust issues and think no one can make this cake as good as me? And now we're limiting your ability to lead, your ability to teach, your ability to scale a business or grow a business, all because of your thinking, right? And it's technician thinking, right? Versus an entrepreneur who's kind of thinking, oh, how do I systemize this? How do I scale this? Enter McDonald's systemization and documenting of processes, etc. Inverted commas.
Yeah. So yeah, whoever's on, there's a whole bunch of you guys on. Send us a comment with your thoughts. Keen to have a bit of you know, a bit of perspective of what your where you sit on this. Is there things that you you probably should be figuring out how to delegate or, you know, systemize but you keep defaulting to because maybe you don't want to face the bigger story, or it's, you know, you enjoy that part of your business, or yeah, just like, let's hear that side of it.
Yeah, Jamie, interested in your comments is I'm not sure if you started like in the factory and making the curtains and the blinds and stuff like that, or in a technician type role, and then and I know now you play more of the the driver, the strategist, the CEO type role in the
Boss
organization. What
man.
was that? The boss man. What was that transition like, if at all? What was that like for you? I'm curious on that. I got a little bit of a story, right? So I had a client that was a VA, right, virtual assistant, and dude, first met her, I don't know, yeah, 2017 or something like that, and at that point she was like, "Oh man, I'm so busy, I can't do marketing." Oh, okay, cool. Why are you so busy? Oh man, I just got so many clients. Business is awesome. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that's your opinion of it. I was like, how are you going to grow this business? How are you going to scale this business? You don't have time for marketing. Oh, I'll get some team. Oh, I don't have time to recruit team. I don't, and so if I look at a business from a demand and supply perspective, either you're going to get work or you're developing systems and team or people in process to be able to deliver the work, right? So it's either just demand and
Right.
supply, and you kind of just move like that up to equilibrium. And yeah, perfect example of, man, just dude thinking like a technician, man. If you thought like an entrepreneur or a business owner, you'd figure that out. You've got to figure it out because you're a business and you want to grow this business. Hey, what's up, Daniel Sutton?
So there was a comment that came up on a thread earlier in the week, and this I've just ad-libbed but essentially, how do I find someone that does a technical job and recruit them to my business, so that I can move towards doing more of the business owner type thing. I'm not sure if Mark, if he's watching, but if you are, bruv, I'm keen to hear a little bit more about the challenges you've been having. For context, Mark runs an automotive business, and it's Sparky. What the fuck do you call something that's a Sparky?
Electrician.
Yeah. So, and he's had a lot of struggles with finding people that can actually do what they say they can do in the interview, and produce quality work. So I'm keen to hear, from anyone who's had this type of problem where they've hired people that you've hired someone because you want to move from doing the technician side of it yourself, but have maybe not had the skill set that they say they've got, or that you've found you've spent more time training than if you just did it yourself, and how that's played out in your business.
That's an interesting one. Hey, we didn't come back to the thinking, right? How do you change your thinking? So we'll come back to that banner if you like. Like, I'm keen on your recommendations. Like, what do you think? How do we actually raise up to entrepreneurial thinking? Besides just Nike, just fucking do it. Maybe a bit more detail. What's your thoughts on this one? How do you hire decent people?
Well, I 100% have been in the exact same situation that this guy is in with this thing, and particularly in the type of business that he's in, it's like no two jobs are the same. It is a technical role. Someone's either switched on and clued up, or they're not. So my thinking from a higher level holistic perspective is more about how do you recruit and retain people, and what is it that why would they want to stay and do good work for you over potentially another employer? Because that's going to attract a higher caliber of person, because you've got a better culture, you've got a higher level of engagement, you do higher level workmanship, and ideally you'd have higher remuneration for them because of that side of it. So that would be so I would be thinking about how you package and market it, and I would be thinking about if I can replace myself, what are the things from a high level perspective that I keep doing to keep the business running, that if I wasn't doing these things, I could grow my business because I could focus more on marketing or scale, or getting a bigger operation, or whatever it might be. So that's I guess that's the crux of it, because particularly for those technical roles, there are people out there, but the competition to find and retain them is going to be harder, because if someone's a good people, that they're employable. So you've got to have a reason for them to want to come to work for you. Does that help? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good perspective, right? You know, I think there's a few factors at play, right? Because you're kind of talking about internal branding, you know, or branding and positioning yourself
Culture
in the recruitment market, right? And that's the value proposition, right? Just like we do when we're looking for clients or customers and we're doing active marketing or advertising. You know, ideally you want to start with an avatar. Ideally you want to start with their pain points. What are their pains and gains and desires? And then you want to understand what it is that about your business or entity that you offer them in terms of value to meet those pains or gains or desires. And I think it's the same in business. That's sorry, in recruitment, and that's what you're saying. I also think there's a recruitment process. I like what Jamie kind of chipped in there. You know, there's a saying that goes hire slow, fire fast.
Yep.
You know, and yeah, when it's what do you call it? A niche, if you like, because it's technical. Shit, man, like don't just hire the first one that you get just because you're scared or you're thinking in a scarcity
or you're just
mindset.
desperate for someone because you've got too much work, or
I look, I swear to God, there will be some stats on it. It's about 80% of those hires don't go well. When you hire because you're desperate, it's just not a good business strategy. Any good business coach that knows anything will tell you, do not hire out of desperation. You know, you know, and yeah, look, I think hiring people is kind of like getting clients, to be honest. And you know what? It's not too different to finding, you know, a good personal relationship. What do you call it? Intimate relationship, right? There is a little bit of a numbers game, but man, the more you know yourself and the more you know what you have to offer and the more you know what you're looking for, the more
value prop, right?
Your value prop. You're going to increase the chances of having a highly mutually beneficial and high performing relationship.
Hey, so
and
let's check this
that's
one
what
up
we should be doing.
I was going to say, let's chuck this one up from Kev here. So he said, you know, he's hired a manager after 18 years of running it all himself so that he could stay as the technician on the front line, keeping with the market, my customers. So important not to lose touch, especially in these days. So I guess what I take from that is he's actually put someone in place to help, you know, to kind of, you know, ensure that the operations are running well, so that he can stay on the you know, coal front. I know Kev does a car parts business, so he's probably spending a lot of time, you know, really trying to decipher what they want and what they need, but has someone else there to maybe process the, you know, the deliveries and the parts. And I'm ad-libbing a bit, Kev, so give me a bit more context if I'm on the right track. Yeah, what are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, right. And I think this is kind of where Tim's coming from in terms of these are the exceptions to the rule. I'm going to say that, Tim. I hear you. You're right. There is a bit of, but the bell curve applies. Right. You've got you're a marketer. Are you doing live marketing? Why did you?
That's kind of
anyway. Hey, Michelle. Thank you. Love your contribution. Thank you so much. What I'll say, there's a bell curve, Tim. You know, but generally, what we're saying, and we're speaking in the middle here, right? And we're speaking generally. You know, and so you're going to have these exceptions. You're going to have these people that, don't give a shit, and they're happy to be the technician for the rest of their lives, right? And they just want to be the one-man plumber, like we said at the start. Some people just have a lifestyle business and they're really, really happy with it. Man, this camera frame is really, really weird for me. And then you got the other end of the curve.
Because you're too massive, bro. You're too massive. You've been working out?
Yeah, on the KFC and the Macca's. No, I have been working out. Actually, did I tell you I got a bar and like 90 kilos of plates? So this lockdown, I was actually able to work out. Yay.
Can you clean it yet?
Sorry?
Can you clean that yet?
Nah, but I take good selfies and I'm like, you know, like, yeah. And I pretend that I'm lifting it, but really it's like, yeah, look, so yeah, like I agree. Like there's just different models and it does come down to personal preference. Look, and that's why, to be honest, when I'm business coaching, people say, oh, I need more leads, or oh, I need more sales, or oh, I need to make more money, or how do I work on the business instead of in the business? I'm like, bro, go and fill this worksheet out, this goals worksheet. Because I need to know what your goals are. And you know what? 80% of the time, they don't actually really know.
Yeah.
So that whole exercise of, wait, do you want to have a $10 million business, or do you want to have a $100,000 a year business? Do you want to play golf every Friday, or do you don't care? You just want to work 80 hours a week and just grow the biggest, baddest brand and be a massive challenger brand that there ever was, right? And so it determines that. But we're speaking generally here. And so generally what I will say is, yes, you need to know your value prop to your recruitment market. Yes, you need to hire slowly. You need to have, I wouldn't say a rigorous, but you need to have some kind of systemized advertising, interviewing, shortlisting, inducting, you know, maybe litmus testing kind of process, especially with high highly skilled technicians. Like, what are you doing to reference check them and stuff like that? And that's on you. That's on you. That's not
that was
them.
actually
Their
some of
job
the
is to
comments
sell you.
we're giving back to the guy was, hey, dude, what's your process? What's your process?
Right. So we're talking about branding, right? And again, this is recruitment, right? But I'm going to use these terms because I think as business owners, we all know these terms. We're talking about branding, right? To our recruitment market. We're talking about what kind of advertising are we doing? What kind of qualification mechanisms do we have in place? Just like your sales process. You go marketing, well, you start with brand, and then you go marketing, and then you go sales. And you just need to have a bit of a tight process. So if you're saying, hey, man, I can't find good people, bro, whose problem is that? Is that their problem and everyone in the market is deceitful and they want to get paid lots and do a shitty job? Or is that, hey, am I good enough at weeding out the ones that aren't a great fit? Bro, if you go to the bar and you're hitting on sixes, you go and get sixes.
You know all about that, eh, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you take me out and you tell me that this is how it works, well, fucking, I learned from the best, didn't I?
Yeah. Hey, I just want to hit Andrew's comment here because I think it's really, really cool. Like he says, look, you know, it's good content. Yeah, I don't, because I'm not sure why, but I can't get Jamie's up on the thing. But we'll get better
Jamie,
at this,
you're
man.
the man. I love you. Nick hates you, but hey, we won't hold that against him.
That's harsh. That's harsh. And I do actually, I must actually, because I stuck him in your biz squad and not mine. So sorry, Jamie.
No, no, that says that you love him because you wanted him to have the better experience.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool shit. So Andrew, hey, a good context. Thanks, man. I'm a one-man plumber and life couldn't get better. So I love that because from a holistic perspective, he's gone, fuck, man, I just want to go plumb some shit, work my 60 hours, 50 hours, whatever I do, make my money, go home and enjoy my life. And it's fucking great. And I respect that, man. Kudos to you, man. If you're enjoying what you're doing, you're making good money, fucking more power to you, brother. That's awesome.
Right. This thing about happiness, right? Happiness is relative. And we all know that, right? I don't know. Most of us should know the story of Tony Robbins when he made his first million, and he thought he'd made it, but actually he found himself on a beach in Fiji, really, really depressed. And he looked at these Fijian kids and they were poor.
But nothing.
And all with nothing. And they were happy as fuck. And so it's all relative. So I agree with this. And this is in line with what you're saying, Tim Webb. There are the exceptions to the rule. But, with all due respect, look, it's going to be very hard for you, Andrew, right, to grow a $10 million or even a $2 million plumbing business. But you don't want that. And so it's relative. And so I love that you've got that self-awareness. Hey, this is what I like. And you've built this business aligned, again, pretty much to your goals. Your goals, man, I don't want the pressure of staff. I don't want to have all this insurance and all this assets and shit sitting around, or the admin and the processing. And, I call my own shots, right? But let's see what happens in 5 years, because your goals change. Your goals change, and opportunities will pop up at you. And that's life asking you a question. Hey, man, there's a big contract here. If you can get a gang of 5 guys, we'll give you work for 2 years and pay you some stupid amount of money every month. And then let's see what you say. At this point, you're probably going to say, hell no, man. I like my Fortnite at 3 p.m. I go home, I turn the PlayStation on, and I'm good. Good on you, bro. Do you.
Another awesome comment from Tim there. He's always hard on attitude. Skills can be learned, but the right attitude trumps everything. I agree. I agree in principle. Coming back to, Mark's business, like you could have someone with all the enthusiasm in the world, but you can't get him to go and wire up a $300,000 Mercedes.
Yeah, we're talking about technical skills here. You wouldn't want a really great attitude brain surgeon that's never done brain surgery.
Yeah.
Fixing your brain,
Yeah,
so
right.
Yeah.
So it's he's right. And if I had 2 guys that had the same technical ability, but one was a fuckwit, I wouldn't hire him.
Yeah, exactly. Tim, are you that kid in school that's always like the teacher's trying to teach the thing and you're like, hey, but there's one exception to the rule and I think we should highlight that? Are you that guy?
That's why Tim and I get along, because that was definitely me.
Yeah, that was me too.
Yeah. Hey, so Andrew's just said there, went through a ton of mentoring courses and concluded this. Has said that workshops 70% due to COVID. I think he means that he's concluded that, hey, I'm actually better off just to do what I do. I'm enjoying it this way. I don't have to worry about having guys on my team. I don't have to, So good stuff, man. That's epic. How are we doing? We're at 9.
You're happy, bro. That's what matters. Yeah. So we close it out. I want to hit Jamie's comment because you're.
Yeah, I was going to say Jamie's comment was pretty valuable.
No
Yeah.
way. I couldn't even thread a showing machine, so he wasn't a technician. But put a pre-existing business with staff in it. I did do some sales stuff until we got to a point and we recruited 2 sales consultants. So sales is a technical role. Obviously not brain surgeon technical, but it is a technical role. And a lot of people can get stuck in the sales part of the business, right? Especially the digital marketing agencies, and they're stuck in the account management side of the business. Consultants, and then moved further into the business owner's role. So again, he did the technicifying, because that's a real word, but he built a bit of a system and a process around it, and then he was able to essentially kind of train or teach, through good recruitment and induction. And look, here's an interesting, here's a on the spot survey. How many salespeople did you hire and fire before you found, the right ones?
Yeah.
Right. And look, again, he might give me an answer like, "Oh man, I was so lucky that the first 2 were awesome," But then conversely, just because probability says that, on the other end, there's a pretty similar business that had to go through like 10 or 100 to get.
Yeah, I mean, look, I had 22 sales staff at one point in my corporate career, and there was a churn rate, and we knew that we'd have to hire 3 to 5 every 6 months, and some of them would be good, some of them wouldn't. We'd give them all training. Some of them just weren't, it weren't cut out for it, mate. So that's just a fact of life. You just had to go through that to find a good team, and the ones that were good, like I said before about the culture and the retainment process, making sure that when we got someone who's good, we really did everything we could to make them enjoy the job and keep them on. Yeah.
Culture, nice, love it. Culture is everything.
This one,
I'm gonna hit Daniels. No,
Daniels. Oh no, go back to that one.
I'm gonna hit Daniels. Yeah. Oh, we'll go back to that one. Yeah, we will end on this one, but I'm just gonna say, Daniel, to your question, Daniel Sutton. Bruv, I'm gonna give you this, brother, because I don't want to give you fish, and no one's gonna give you fish. I want to teach you how to fish, right, as best I can, right? Not saying I'm a guru or anything like that.
Do you want to just read his comments so those who are watching can?
I'll give some context, right? So the question is, can I hire someone for a few hours a week on a casual contract without being a legal entity or having a legal entity? Too much risk? Question mark. Can you go full informal when hiring? Look, okay, short answer, I'm going to say is no, right? But what I'm actually recommending you do, Daniel, you're here in your business journey and you're trying to get here, right? You're trying to get, I imagine, some kind of full-grown business, bro. So you're on a marathon, right? And you've got to learn a whole lot of shit, including employment law in the country that you live in. So Google, I don't know, employment law line or something like that, and go and talk to them, right? Or even just business.govt. I think it has some cool stuff about HR, right? But basically, right? But just call someone. Like, I think you're talking to people, like, and I am too. I don't Google shit and download the ebook and fucking read that shit. I probably download it and then never read it. We're going to talk to someone, because what I'll say, you need to learn about this stuff. And basically in New Zealand, no, you cannot hire anyone without having a legal entity. It's illegal.
And a contract with that person.
Yeah,
an agreement.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of a process, and look, it won't take you long to learn it. Even call an HR consulting company, Google HR consultant, and just get a free quote and just get a free hour.
Do a search within the group, HR and contract law. There'll be a plethora of posts that come up. But look, I love what you're saying, John. Look, we're not going to give you a fish. Go and figure out how to bait your own hook, and that's I think that's really coming from that entrepreneurial thinking that kind of brings our whole topic back to where we started, which is it's really cool.
Look, Jamie will reiterate testify to this too. And even Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg, any good business owner, you think, yeah, look, sometimes you get the answers from someone, and it's a mentor or a coach or whatever, some specialist, some consultant, whatever. But generally, man, in business, man, a whole lot of it, for those ones that got up the mountain, is trying to figure shit out and learn it as you go, right? And so, Daniel, you got to learn marketing, you got to learn sales, you got to learn all this shit. So you might as well get on your bike now and start learning, bro, because you can do it, right? I think you've done some cool shit, and so get on and do it, and be the entrepreneur. Don't be the technician, because the technician always is looking for an answer in some textbook, but you're not that, bro. So do you, bro?
All right, hit it.
Biz Shiz update. All I say, hey,
was you had your group start last week?
Oh, yeah. So I started my Biz Squad last week, which was really, really cool. Jamie is in it. which is really, really awesome. And you can just hear, man, it's interesting when you can hear people that are starting out and kind of where their thinking is at, and you can hear people that have kind of been in the game for a while. And it's just, they've got they're the old dog, or they've got some battle scars, man. And they don't fret about the little shit. They just don't fret about the little shit. Like, oh man, someone said I need to be on Facebook. Do I need to be on Facebook? I need to start a Facebook page. Like, do you think
Wix, or do I use Squarespace, or do I,
the billion businesses in the world? No, actually, we're probably closer to 600 million businesses in the world. Do you think they all have a fancy Facebook page? Because if you're not on Facebook, you don't exist. You don't have a business in 2020. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. And he's just chill. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. When we did come to his challenges, he was kind of coaching himself, if I'm honest. So yeah, look, that was really, really cool. Hey, but I'm going to throw this out there, right? So the Biz Shiz update, we're still doing trials, right? So we've got a group each, right, where we get together with a group of business owners and we jam about business, right? So if you think this dude knows some shit, or this dude knows some shit, or you want to get in
you just pointed to nowhere.
Yeah, that guy knows some shit, and you want to spend some time with him.
This guy.
Still
does it the wrong way. Oh man, this guy doesn't know how to use a camera, guys. So solid business coach doesn't know how a camera works. It's a mirror. It's just like a mirror, man. Ain't you picked your nose in the mirror?
I won't ask what you do in the mirror, bro. Man, way off topic, right? Man, way to fuck with the pitch. Because that's how serious we are about it. But no, look, if you want to get some time with us, you want to get some time with some business owners, take opportunity, hit us up, drop us a comment, drop us a DM, whatever, man. Go and find us, be an entrepreneur and be resourceful, and get into a biz squad before we start charging you for them, right? I don't know. What are we going to charge? $1,000 a month? $100 a month? 500?
No.
We're going to charge something stupid, right? Because that shit, and I don't look, this is just me being cocky as fuck, right? Because I know, because I've been part of them. When we can change your thinking, whatever mechanism someone uses to change your thinking, if it's Zoom, is it fly to America, attend some jump up and down kind of guru workshop, I don't care what it is, man. Some ebook, some video might do that for you. And that shit is invaluable, and it will crank the shit out of your business, right? Or you can do it like most business owners and just take 2 to 5 years to kind of figure it out.
Love it.
So that's a Biz Shiz update. You gonna jam on anything?
I was just gonna say, hey, I'm just gonna put this one up here. I was gonna throw some more shade, but I figure we've had a little banter. I think closing thoughts for tonight is gonna be, it's about having, number one is awareness of what your role is within your business, what it is that you're trying to do, and it's having that, I think, the emotional intelligence to realize, when you're digging your heels in because you like something, or you're frustrated with someone, or this or that or the other, and actually being able to go, you know what? One of my mentors used to say to me when I was in my early 20s, he says, mate, do you want to be right, or do you want to be rich? Because you can't be both. And I'm coming back to the technician versus entrepreneurial role. Is that your is it WAP? Is that what it's called?
WAP.
Yeah,
like what your mum
song on,
like what's your mum?
TikTok. Like you're on TikTok. Don't tell me you ain't on TikTok. I know you're a TikToker.
Isn't that what your mama said to me?
Fucking hell. Anyways, what I'm saying is,
I was pitching, motherfucker. I don't know what you're saying, but it wasn't as cool as my pitch.
Bro, you're. You
go. Closing thoughts. Here we go.
No, I'm done. So just simply put, just are you aware enough of how you're feeling about yourself, your own mindset, and how that's playing out when you're doing your business? Are you diverting to what feels good, but not actually facing and biting, taking a chunk out of the thing that maybe feels uncomfortable, which is going to lead you to being more of the entrepreneur, because you're stuck in that technician mindset. And it's a real hard thing. And I know that we had huge success story with one of the members of the Biz Squad last week, who she'd had a big thing like that, and she kept diverting back to just running the business and doing it, and we finally got her to the point where it's like, right, I'm drawing a line in the sand. I'm going to do this. And the outcome for her was just unreal. She couldn't have got a better outcome, even though in her mind she'd been through all of the worst case scenario stuff. So, whatever you've got to do to shift your thinking, and if you've got things that you want us to spend more time on, man, hit us up, jump in the DMs, let us know. Yeah. That was my thought. Thanks for scattering my brain.
It's all good. Anytime. 100% every time.
Anything else you want to say?
I don't know. Do you want me to drop some closing thoughts? Or there's a really cool story. 2-minute story.
Yeah, go on then.
So what is an entrepreneur? What is an entrepreneur, right? I don't know if anyone's Googled it or whatever, right? And yeah, some people don't relate to the word entrepreneur because it's got some weird connotation to it. It's a slimy salesperson. I don't know, right? But just get over it, because entrepreneur is actually the definition of what you are and what you're trying to do. It's like trying to say, I'm not a business owner. It's like, well, you own the limited company. You're the director of the limited company. You want to be a technician, go be a plumber, then go be an employee. You are a business owner, and therefore, by default, or by taking that status, you are an entrepreneur. So you Google the definition of entrepreneur, and you know what it is. It's a French word, and the history of it is I don't know. It was in the 1920s, the Black Plague or something like that, right? And there was all these villages. They didn't have lights and flush toilets and all that kind of stuff. And an entrepreneur was basically the crazy person or the brave enough person to say, hey, there's all this disease and bad stuff over here. Come with me at nighttime. We're going to go in the night, and I'm going to carry these torches, right? And I'm going to show us the way to the better land, right? The better place, the better city, the better village, right? So what is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is a leader, right? And what does a leader do? A leader says, I have a dream. I have a vision. I think we should go there. And I want to help you to come with me, right? So they venture to lands that have never been ventured to before, right? And so when you think like that, the technician thinks, oh, there's an exam, there's an apprenticeship, there's a manual, there's an answer to the problem that I'm trying to figure out. And someone's got it, right? This has been done before. It's a process. It's a system. Someone's done it. They're looking for the right answer. And schools train us to think like that as well, as we all know, but we won't get into the education system. And so what I'll say is, you're a leader, act like it. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're doing, right? But figure it out on the way and just try your best. And that's why, to be honest, I don't care about what you think about all these leaders in the world, because you know what? They don't know what they're doing. They're just trying their best. And for the most part, they have good intent. So us criticizing them from the sidelines, you go and do it. You go and do that job.
Sick. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been an awesome session again. I've really enjoyed tonight, actually, Ruff. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you too, brother. Right, love this.
We'll end the session, and we'll be back Tuesday next week.